Welcome back. Okay, how many times did you cut yourself last week in the kitchen of your house? How many times did you cut yourself? Ay, you cut yourself. You know, sometimes, especially men like me and you, we go to the kitchen and we want to cut some cheese or something, bam, we cut ourselves. How many times did you cut yourself in the kitchen last month? No? Me neither. I didn't cut myself in the kitchen last month. And so far this month? And so far this month? No, me neither. Tampoco, yo tampoco. Me neither. I haven't cut myself so far this month, but there's still several days left in this month, so you never know. I may cut myself. Puede que me corte. I may cut myself, and I may not. To tell you the truth, I don't think I will. I don't think I will. I'll probably reach the end of the month without cutting myself. Last month I didn't cut myself in the kitchen, and this month I haven't cut myself in the kitchen. Last year I didn't cut myself in the kitchen, and so far this year I haven't cut myself in the kitchen. Have you cut yourself in the kitchen so far this year? Did you cut yourself in the kitchen last year? Do you think you will cut yourself in the kitchen someday again? Have you ever cut yourself in the kitchen? Did you cut yourself in the kitchen anytime during the 1990s? Here we're using with the verb to cut. Cut is very easy. It's cut, cut, cut. In the present, in the past, and the participle, cut. We'll look at other verbs that are a bit more complicated, but nevertheless, the important thing here is using didn't, haven't, won't, don't. Talking about cutting your finger in the kitchen when you're cutting cheese or cutting chorizo or something, bam, you cut yourself. And it starts bleeding. And what you do is you need to get maybe cold water over it and wrap it and keep it tight to stop the blood, to stop the bleeding. Okay? I remember one time a friend of mine, I was at the house of a friend. This was in Austin, Texas, the capital, Austin, decís aquí, Austin, Texas. And it was at the university, and I went over to his house. Yo podría haber dicho, he invited me to his house. But that sounds formal to me. Fui a su casa. I went over. Uso over, because we lived in the same city. I went over to his house. He asked me over, and we were going to watch an American football game, and he got 2 beers out of the refrigerator. And at that time, that was 1974, I think. And at that time, opening a beer can was different than today. Today, when you open a beer can, it's not very easy to cut yourself. You can cut yourself, but it's not normal. At that time, he had a little piece to open the beer can, and he cut himself, and it started bleeding. And I was in the kitchen too, and I saw, you cut yourself. He went to the tap, the kitchen sink. Sink is el fregadero o la pila. He went to the kitchen sink, he opened the tap, he turned on the faucet. Faucet. Faucet is another word for tap. And he let the water fall on his finger. And his finger was bleeding profusely. And I saw his finger, and at that moment, he fainted. He completely fainted. Se desmayó. And I had to pick him up. Okay, it was very heavy. But the sight of blood for some people makes them faint. The smell of hospitals for some people make them faint. Okay, but getting back to the question, how many times have you cut yourself so far this year? Es presente perfecto, porque estoy hablando de un periodo de tiempo todavía vigente, este año, y que va a haber muchos meses más este año. Toda la posibilidad de que sí te cortes la mano existe, okay? Pero hasta ahora no ha pasado. So far, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. Siempre estoy con el presente perfecto. It hasn't happened. And so you haven't cut your finger yet this year. And so far, so good. Hasta ahora todo bien. But you may cut it in the future. You may, como maybe, maybe not. You may cut. Puede que cortes. O te cortes la mano. You may cut it. Last year, did you, ahora pasó al pasado. Did you, porque es un periodo de tiempo cerrado ya, terminado, el año pasado. Did you cut your hand or your finger last year in the kitchen? No. Have you cut your finger in the past 5 years? No. Did you cut your finger in the 1990s? No. Entonces ya remonto hasta tu nacimiento. ¿Alguna vez en tu vida te has cortado la mano? Have you ever? Y ahí viene, ya entra en la ecuación gramatical el término ever. Have you ever cut your finger in the kitchen cutting things? I've cut my finger maybe 2 times, twice, 3 times maybe. Not very often. I'm usually careful when I'm cutting things in the kitchen because I've cut myself before. Next question. How many important things did you do yesterday? How many important things did you do? Nothing important. Me, yes. I did several important things yesterday. I came here yesterday. I consider that important. I had dinner out in a nice restaurant with some interesting people. I consider that important. I put gasoline in my car yesterday. I consider that important. How many important things did I do? Bastantes. Quite a few, quite a few, quite a few. And so far today, how many important things have you done? Have you done? Have you? La pronunciación. Es una V. Have contiene la V. Se enlaza con la Y de you. Have you? Suena casi como Javier. O Javier in Valencia. Or in Alicante, I can't remember. Have you? Have you? How many important things have you done today? Nothing. And me? Ask me. How many important things have I done today? I've done 2 important things so far today. I have given class. I've given class on the radio, and I've come here, and I'm giving class to you now. Right now, I'm doing something I consider important. Do you consider it important? Do you consider this program important? Do you consider the English language important? So, if you consider the English language important, then at least as far as you're concerned, en cuanto a usted se refiera, as far as you are concerned, I've done 2 things. I've done 2 important things so far today. Now, if you're not interested in the English language, and if you don't consider this an important television show for you, then concerning you, I've only done 1 important thing today, which is my job in the morning. Okay, now question. How many times did you feel nauseous yesterday? Nauseous. Do you understand? Nausea is an unpleasant feeling in which you feel like you want to throw up, to vomit, okay? And you feel nauseous. Nauseas, okay? Nauseous en inglés, pero se pronuncia nauseous. Fijaos en la terminación de la palabra, la terminación fonética. Nauseous, nauseous. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Para nosotros. Para mí, for me. Para ti, for you. Para ellos, for them. Y para nosotros, for us. Ese sonido us. For us. For me and for him. Or for me and for you, for us. 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 Famous. Nervous. Superfluous. Mountainous. Nauseous. La OUS al final de tantas palabras en inglés tiene sonido de us, no os, okay? So, nauseous. How many times did you feel nauseous last week? No, you didn't? You didn't feel nauseous? No? Me neither. Yo tampoco. Me neither. Neither did I. 2 formas. Yo recomiendo me neither. Simplemente porque es universal. Me too, me neither. Así hablan los niños pequeños, pero los adultos hablamos así también. Okay? Si alguien me dice, me gustan las flores, I like flowers. Yo, me too. Ahora, si quiero ser más formalito, digo, so do I. Pero si insisto en ser más formal, me condeno a poseer un dominio bárbaro de los verbos auxiliares. Porque si luego me dice, me gustaban las flores en los años 90, I liked flowers. In the 90s, tengo que responder, so did I. And if he speaks in the future, I will work tomorrow, so will I. I haven't worked lately, so have I. Or neither have I. So you require every every so or neither requires knowledge of what auxiliary verb corresponds to what the sentence said. Now, me too, me neither? It's universal. I don't like flowers, me neither. I didn't like flowers last year, me neither. I like paella, me too. Okay, so the question here, how many times did you feel nauseous yesterday? No, you didn't feel? Me neither. I didn't feel nauseous yesterday either. And today, have you felt nauseous today? No? Me neither. Neither have I. I haven't felt nauseous today. Well, when was the last time you felt nauseous? Last year. You felt nauseous last year. That's me. No, last year I didn't. I don't remember the last time I felt nauseous. Okay. So when you feel nauseous, you feel like, oh, what you have in your stomach you can't keep in your stomach and it's going to come up. And you feel nauseous. Okay? So the next question. How many times did you get up? How many times did you get up before 5 a.m. last week? Now, last week had 7 days, Monday through Friday. No, Monday through Sunday. Here we go. How many times last week did you get up before 7 or before 5 o'clock? You didn't? Me neither. Neither did I. Neither did I. Last week I didn't get up before 5 o'clock any day of the week. And this week? How many times have you gotten up so far, before 5 o'clock, so far this week? Estoy usando un inglés americano ahora, fijaos. How many times, ¿cuántas veces te has levantado esta semana, lo que va de semana, antes de las 5 de la madrugada? How many times have you gotten up before 5 a.m. so far this week? You haven't. Neither have I. I haven't either. Me neither. Okay? This week I haven't gotten up before 5 a.m. And last week, I don't think I got up. No, I'm sure. I didn't get up any day before 5 o'clock. And this week I haven't gotten up. Ahora, los británicos y irlandeses dirían I haven't got up. Porque en las Islas Británicas se dice get, got, got. In America y Canadá se dice get, got, gotten. Which is correct, which is better? Whichever one is easier for you. Okay? Personally, I think gotten is the older version. I think the English language has evolved in that respect a bit faster in the United Kingdom, and the American conserves the older form. The same thing happens with Spanish. Sometimes you go to Venezuela, Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, Argentina, and sometimes you hear normal Spanish expressions that you don't hear in Spain now, but you find in the Quijote or in Calderón. And so in South America or Central America, they have conserved sometimes some of the older expressions in Spanish. And it's same between the United States and the United Kingdom or England, okay? So how many times have you gotten up before 5 a.m. so far this week? You haven't. And next week, do you think you will get up before 5 a.m. any of those days? You don't think so? You won't get up? Have you ever gotten up before 5 a.m.? No, never. Oh, me many times. I remember once when I was maybe 10 years old, and my sister was 13, and my parents, we were traveling. My father was on vacation. Every year, every summer, my father took a 2-week vacation. Fijaos, unas vacaciones de 2 semanas. A 2-week vacation. In the United States, regrettably, the vacation time is shorter than in Europe. In Europe, people take usually 4 weeks during the year, sometimes more. In Germany, some people take up to. Up to means hasta en este sentido. Aquí no se puede decir until. Alguna gente en Alemania coge hasta 6 semanas de vacaciones al año, con derecho a dichas 6 semanas. Some people in Germany take up to 6 weeks. My father had, que yo recuerde, as far as I can remember. Que yo sepa is as far as I know. Pero cuando usamos remember, que yo recuerde, curiosamente solemos insertar que yo pueda recordar. As far as I can remember. as far as I remember, también vale, pero se suele decir, as far as I can remember, my father only had 2 weeks every year. My father only had 2 weeks. And we usually got in the car and took road trips. Yeah, simplemente viajes por carretera. I don't remember sometimes some of the destinations, but I remember one day we were in a motel on the highway, on a motel, and we made the decision to get up and leave around 5 o'clock in the morning. And the reason was because I said during the dinner, I have never seen the sunrise. I have never seen the sunrise. Maybe I had, but I didn't remember. Now, of course, everybody has seen the sunset, but not often do you see the sunrise, okay? And I was 10 years old, and I said, I've never seen the sunrise. And my mother said, well, let's see it tomorrow. And so she said to my father, let's start our trip tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Okay. And my father said, you're kidding. Anda ya. No. He said, yes, let's start at 5 o'clock. So we all decided to get up about 4 o'clock in the morning and to start. Because at that time, 40 years ago or 45 years ago in the United States, the country was based on solar time. And in the summer, in June, July, the sun rose at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30, very early. And so we got into the car the next morning, I remember perfectly, and it was dark, but there was a glow, un resplandor, un leve resplandor. There was a glow, G-L-O-W, like slow, lento, quitando la S y poniendo una G. There was a glow on the horizon. Fijaos cómo se pronuncia horizonte, porque 90% of the time in my English classes, when I say horizonte in English, people don't understand the word I'm saying. The horizon. El horizonte, the horizon. So there was a slight glow on the horizon, and we started on the highways in Texas, which is flat, like La Mancha in Spain, and I saw for the first time in my life, maybe, the sunrise. Okay, so yes, if you ask me, have you ever gotten up before 5 o'clock? Well, yes. And many other times I've gotten up before 5 o'clock. I remember one time I got up to watch the sunrise again, but late, I was 22, 23 years old, on the beach. Okay, to watch the sunrise on the beach. I have never seen the sunset on the beach. I don't remember. I've been to California once in my life, but every time, for some reason, that I have been at the ocean, it's been facing east. The Gulf of Mexico, the coast of Texas, you go to the coast, you can see the sunrise over the water, but you can't see it set because it's land. And if you go to the Mediterranean, in Spain, you go to Valencia, Barcelona, you go to Alicante, you see the sun rise over the water, but you don't see it set. If you want to see if you're in Spain and you want to watch the sun set on the water, you need to go to Galicia. That's the only place, and also to Huelva and to Tarifa. In that area, you can see the sun set over the water. So I suppose I've seen the sun set over the water, but I don't remember. I've seen the sun rise many times. And once I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch the sun rise, and the sun didn't rise until 6:30. And I remember sitting on the beach in the dark with 2 friends and saying, anda, es que no sale, este sol no sale hoy. The sun is not going to rise today. And my friend said, come on, the sun always rises, every day. And I said, has there ever been, ¿ha habido alguna vez? Fijaos cómo estructuro esta frase en inglés. En español se diría, ¿ha habido alguna vez un día en que no salió el sol? Has there ever been? Has there? There is, there are. Has there ever been a day in which the sun didn't rise? No, never. Never. There's never been a day in which the sun didn't rise. The sun always rises, and the sun always sets. The next one, how much money did you find in the street yesterday? Me, I didn't find any money in the street yesterday. And so far today, Have you found? Have you found? Salto de did you find a have you found. Did you find yesterday? Periodo de tiempo cerrado, terminado. Today, no uso ni el presente ni el pasado. Uso esa estructura de verbos que enlaza presente con pasado, que es el presente perfecto. Hoy, hasta ahora, inclusive, que es tiempo del periodo de tiempo todavía vigente. ¿Has encontrado dinero en la calle? Have you found any money in the street? So far today, I haven't. The last time I found money in the street, I remember perfectly. I was with my wife, and we were in Texas visiting my parents, and we went to a department store. We went to a department store, a big department store. And we bought something, I suppose, and we were walking out of the department store, and on the floor, about 5 meters in front of me, or ahead of me, there was clearly a $10 bill. Billete de $10. I said, oh no, $10 bill. I said, look. Now next to us, there were a mother and her daughter. The daughter was maybe about 16 years old. It was clear. Mother and daughter were also walking. Now I saw the bill first, okay? And so I walked and picked it up, but they saw it too. And I picked up the bill, the banknote, dirían los británicos. And I turned to the mother. I said, would you like it? Would you like the money? And she said, no, you found it first. Okay, and so I kept it, okay? The $10 bill. So, yes, I have found money in the street. And let's see, my son now is 23. When he was 9, or 8 or 9 years old, so that's about 14 years ago, he and my wife were in the street walking, and they were going to cross a pedestrian crossing, paso de cebra. Now, my son, when he was a little boy, he had the bad habit of picking things up in the street. And my wife, I said, don't pick up things in the street. Always, it was constant. And one time, my wife and my son, and he was 9 years old, were waiting for the pedestrian light to change to green to cross. And again, my son bent down, se agachó. To bend is doblar, como un brazo, but to bend down is agacharse hacia abajo, doblando rodillas, etc., para recoger algo. And he bent down to pick something up, and my wife said, Jack, don't pick up. I said, but Mommy, look. And it was a 5,000 peseta note, a bill, 5,000 pesetas, which today I think would be 30 euros. And my wife said, oh, very good, okay, very good. Well done, all right? So, to find money on the street can happen sometimes. And my son found 30 euros in the street when he was 9. Okay, next one. How many apple pies did you eat last month? Me? I didn't eat any. And so far this month, I haven't eaten any, I can guarantee you. Have you ever eaten an apple pie? Tarta de manzana? Probably. Me? Never. I've never eaten an apple pie in my life. I have tried an apple pie several times, maybe 5 times in my life only. And some people say, how is that possible? You're American. You know, in the United States, apple pie is an institution, like hamburgers, hot dogs, apple pie, etc. But I don't like apple pie. I don't like sweets. So I've never eaten, from start to finish, an apple pie in my life. Okay. Have you? You have. Did you eat an apple pie last month? Have you eaten an apple pie this month? Did you eat an apple pie yesterday? Have you eaten an apple pie today? Did you eat an apple pie last year? Have you eaten an apple pie this year? How many apple pies did you eat during the 1990s? How many apple pies have you eaten during this decade? Siempre estoy saltando de periodos de tiempo cerrados y terminados y luego paso a hacer referencia a un periodo de tiempo todavía vigente. Y también estoy cambiando del pasado simple a lo que denominamos en inglés el presente perfecto. The present perfect. It's a perfect tense, okay? So, How many of these programs have you seen on TV hasta ahora, so far? I hope you've seen a lot, and I hope you continue to see more, and I hope you come back in about 5 minutes. I'll be right back, okay? Thank you.